Our plank push through is a core exercise that's working on the stability in those abs, as well as the stability in our chest, shoulders, triceps, and forearms as well. It is essentially the opposite movement as a plank pull through. These two are often confused with each other, so make sure you pay attention when you see this movement, whether it's a plank pull through or a plank push through. A plank push through, you are pushing that weight from one side to the other. A plank pull through, you are reaching through and grabbing that weight and pulling it across. So for this exercise, you're going to set up in a high plank. So that's to where those wrists are directly underneath of those shoulders, not a low plank to where we're down on our forearms. You're going to have that weight on the outside of one of your hands, wherever that starting point is going to be. We're then going to create a nice straight line from the head down to those heels. This is the tougher option. Easier option, drop on down to those knees, but still focus on keeping those hips down, creating that nice straight line from now the knees up to the head. We're now going to grab that weight with the same arm that weight is on for that side. So for instance, that weight's on my right side. I'm going to grab that weight with my right hand, transfer my weight over to my left one, squeeze my abs as I push that weight through to the outside of my left hand, set it on down, and then switch sides. Lift my left hand off the ground, grab that weight, push it onto the outside of my right hand, and then set that left hand down. I'm keeping my core nice and tight. I'm keeping my upper body square to the floor throughout this movement, trying not to rotate my hips. So you can see how this is different than that plank pull through, where that plank pull through is reaching across, grabbing it and pulling it across. This one instead is using the same arm to grab it and push it to the other side. Biggest mistakes made on this one, not keeping the core nice and tight and instead twisting the body as you reach across. What that looks like oftentimes, somebody will grab like this and they'll turn like this, and they'll struggle to keep their balance. Really focus on squeezing your core, keeping nice and rigid in the upper body. Another big mistake made on this exercise is not getting full range of motion. So instead of going like this, grabbing that weight, pushing it all the way to the outside of that left hand before setting it down, a lot of times what it'll look like, someone will grab it, just move it right to the center of their body, just back and forth here. So we want to focus on stability as much as possible, so make sure you slide that weight all the way across to the outside of that other hand before returning to your starting position. Slow down, start on the knees with this, start on a lighter weight. You can use a dumbbell, kettlebell, sandbag, pretty much anything you can move back and forth. Get comfortable with that movement, get comfortable with keeping your core nice and tight and balancing on one arm at a time. As you progress on here, start to move up to the toes if you can, and then build up the weight that you're moving.